Jared Kushner is in the region. He met yesterday with Khalil al-Hayya, the current Hamas chief in Egypt, and the president.
Oh, so okay, so Guy, what do you think about this? Jared Kushner directly met with Hamas chief in Egypt. Are people in Egypt upset about the direct talk between United States and the head of the #1 terrorist group that has caused October 7th? Is that okay? Not okay? Does that normalize recognizing terrorist leadership? Right, like this is like a high official of the United States sitting down with the head of Hamas. Doesn't that give them official recognition?
So let me translate to you the message that came out of the Prime Minister's office after his meeting with Kushner today. That I think that'll answer your question. So after several hours, the meeting between Netanyahu and the heads of the Board of Peace has concluded. Among other things, the Prime Minister scolded Jared Kushner for meeting the heads of Hamas yesterday and told him that you have met the architects of the worst massacre to the Jewish people since the Holocaust. So yeah, this is not acceptable. And Netanyahu made sure to publicly announce that he scolded Jared Kushner because of how unacceptable it is. Now, is that a smart thing to say? Part of it is the election, right? He wants to appear, like he can draw a line to the Americans. I hope that this doesn't lead to any diplomatic escalation with Trump, because this is, he literally said scolded, like that's like a dog, or like a child. So the rhetoric here is very incendiary. We can do probably after this segment. We can talk about like what the end product of this meeting is. Or do you want me to do it now?
Do you think so? Would that be also an attack on Trump, in your opinion? The fact that because Jared Kushner wouldn't have done this without the say-so of President Trump, like he's there because President Trump saying that to him. So do you think Bibi saying that against Jared Kushner is also indirectly him attacking Trump for this decision? And if yes, I think it's the same.
So I think it's the same as attacking Vance on policy. Like this is.
Wait, there is a difference, because Vance is giving his opinion, and him giving his opinion is not necessarily the president's opinion. But Jared Kushner,
but things like the MOU.
Yeah, but when Jared Kushner is meeting with the head of Hamas, obviously he's doing that because Trump told him to. So I think like this is a more direct attack on Trump. Or am I?
No, I think the MOU is also like Trump gave it the go-ahead. It's not necessarily like Kushner may have asked to meet with al-Hayya and Trump said okay. So like we don't know exactly whether Trump told him go meet with al-Hayya before you meet with Netanyahu. But either way, it's attacking the policy of the administration. The person in charge of the policy of the administration is Trump. So obviously they're not going to directly address Trump on this. But this seems like the Board of Peace over the last several weeks has done a lot of things that are unacceptable from an Israeli perspective. This new understanding with Hamas on how to proceed was never communicated with Israel. It was between the U.S. and Hamas. It doesn't meet Israel's minimum standards because Hamas, it essentially, even though they say it doesn't, it requires trusting Hamas to behave. And that's like trusting the IRGC to fulfill their end of their MOU. It's just you have to understand that these are people that operate in a different sphere. You can't trust them. And the Board of Peace apparently thinks different. So there are nuances there, but I won't talk about it right now because this is like a sidetrack. But at the end of the day, you can't let Hamas guard the weapons that it's supposedly dearmed. Or on a demilitarized Gaza means there's no weapons in Gaza. You can't just store them and hope for the best. So the understandings, the original understandings, were unacceptable. And then Kushner was shocked that no one in Israel, even the opposition, was willing to go along with the plan. Like their understanding of the situation appears to be very low. Israel will never again trust in terrorists to be peaceful. That has happened over the last 30 years. That's never happening again, ever. And no politician in Israel, Hamas is planning a new October 7th. The new security understanding of Israel is that they are going to try to kill us whenever possible, and we should not judge them by what we think their intentions are. We should judge them based on their capability. Now, obviously, that's limited. You can't judge every single country in the world based on the capability. But let's start with the Palestinians. You can definitely do that to the Palestinians, and the kind of program that the Board of Peace came up with Hamas was one in direct contradiction to a lot of the things that the original 20-point plan by Trump said, and two, does not meet the minimum criteria that Israel would ever be able to accept, no matter who's the prime minister.
Okay, so really quickly, I just want to highlight a few comments that I start and just so Sean is saying this is all part of a 5D chess to fool the IRGC. So there's not real disagreement between basically President Trump and Netanyahu's administration. And
I disagree
somebody,
with that.
so this is. So somebody says so somebody responded saying 5D chess my ass, and somebody else is saying we can't assume Trump supported it, so maybe Jared Kushner did this on their own. And another comment here by Stefan is saying there is no such thing as 5D chess. That's a bunch of hopeful wishing with zero evidence or data to prove your argument. Literally no different than the crazy people on the left. Okay, so what is your take on this? And then after that, we'll see if Sid and Monkey wanted to mention anything on this. And then
so the way I like to put it is that Trump does do 5D chess, but no higher. So like some of the moves here would be like 6D chess, 7D chess, 8D chess. We have seen Trump do 5D chess before February 28th. The fact, and I was shocked that he actually got everyone to be in a single building or 3 single buildings, and they were all bombed at the same time. So he is able to do some sophisticated moves. Okay, this has been proven because he has done them. He has also managed to get Hamas to release all of the hostages. Again, something that no one here has ever thought would be possible, and that's one of the reasons. Like the Americans keep saying to us, "Listen, we say they're never going to disarm. They're never going to disarm. Obviously, they're not going to disarm." And they say, and they're right. You also thought they would never bring back all the hostages, and they did. So give us some leeway. Trust us on this. And so there are several reasons we're continuing with the process. One is to not be the party that destroys it, because we know that Hamas is going to break it. So might as well wait until they break it and then attack. And two, even if they give up some of the arms, that's still less arms than we have to deal with until when we do finally have to go in. So Trump is able to do 5D chess moves. He is able to troll the trolls, but there are things that are not everything is 5D chess, and you can also have legitimate disagreements between the administrations. This doesn't help. Like the RGC is never falling for the same trick again. You can do these media things. Doesn't help anyone on either side. So you could maybe argue midterms, because Netanyahu is fighting with the ultra-Orthodox right now for media purposes. So you could argue maybe this is what's happening, but it's not related to Iran.
Okay, so quickly, let's see if Sid and Monkey, if you guys want to add anything to any of this, and then we'll go to the rest of the video.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the election. How much is this? Look at me, I'm Netanyahu. I'm the only one that's gonna be able to get U.S. from starting negotiating with everyone. The other one you already touched on. Like, is this like the art of the deal? Okay, we're gonna you have to give up. You can keep the guns. Okay, you can't keep all the guns, but you got to give up at least the big ones. Okay, you got to give up also the mortars, because we can't have mortars. But you could keep, like, for security, some Kalashnikovs and pistol. Like you already kind of touched on that. As long as we got some of them out, it's a win. Like, okay, you definitely got to get rid of the rockets. So yeah, it's a sign of good, good intent. Can you give up the rock, like that kind of stuff? But I was wondering how much is to do with the elections. How much of this is like Netanyahu is our guy? He's the only one that's going to be able to scold them. He's the only one that's going to even be able to get in the room because they don't know anybody else. Would that play as a factor?
So,
Yes. So
Guy, can you keep the answer short because I want to make sure we
succinct,
get
yes.
it as well. And, yeah, okay, thank you.
So the understanding by Israel for the last few months was that this is essentially the idea to get them to get rid of some of the arms at least before Israel goes in. And the other side is yes, absolutely. Like the reason for the harsh messaging, the scold, the usage of the word scold is absolutely to do with the Israeli election.
Yeah, because we don't care if they say, "Oh, they scolded us." Oh, boo! Oh, that hurts so much. Oh my God, my image. Someone scolded me. They don't care. But it might play very good in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trump did
Sid?
say he's not supporting anyone yet for the election. He might in the future, but so far he's not supporting anyone, which I think is different than last time. Last time he supported Netanyahu.
Okay, Sid?
So I think I mean I don't know, like if we're speculating about whether or not Kushner went on his own or with Trump's blessing, I mean I think that's pretty obvious that he went with Trump's blessing. I really find it hard to believe that he would be on camera with al-Sisi and a member of Hamas and a Hamas leader without clearing it with administration officials. So that seems kind of silly. I agree with Monkey that the scolding thing is kind of a storm in a teacup. I mean, I don't even know, like I didn't even hear about it. I think it's sort of the expected response from an Israeli official on something like they have to say this. So I don't expect this to turn into a diplomatic conflict. I'm very torn about like whether this is a good idea or not. Like, I mean, there's no trusting Hamas. I don't think there's no good faith negotiation with Hamas. Like those things are impossible. So the one way we could interpret it though is that this is more like it's a sort of like a kinetic war of attrition has moved to a sort of diplomatic war of attrition, right? We know who Hamas is, and we know that Hamas is like, at least speaking from an Israeli perspective, Israel knows that Hamas is their enemy, and that their intention, Hamas's intention, long term, is to continue to fight and continue to be an irritant and continue to cause problems for Israel. So no amount of talking and no amount of diplomatic posturing is going to change that. This is in their DNA. So, but the question is like, okay, we know that they want what they want to do. We know their long-term aims, and our long-term aims from an Israeli perspective is to undermine Hamas and to isolate Hamas and to compromise their capability to do their own goals. And can there be some talking and negotiation in that process? Yes, there can be. There can be, as long as we're cognizant that that's what's going on. There can be. I mean, I think it's very interesting just to look at this. Okay, al-Sisi is sitting right there, and al-Sisi's posture is Muslim Brotherhood for thee and not for me, right? So this is very convenient for him as well, right? He's looking at it and saying like, "Oh, this is great. Like, I'm cooperating with Hamas, even though Hamas is my enemy too, right? But my cooperation with Hamas is allowing me to direct the Hamas problem to Israel, right? So everybody here is playing a dirty game, and I hope that Kushner is also playing a dirty game. I hope that that's the case. right? If it's not, then it's sheer incompetence. But I don't think that he's incompetent. But yeah, I mean, if he thinks like, okay, we can talk, we can come to some agreement, we can shift the future of Gaza towards some sort of prosperous future, he's out of his mind.
Can I quickly respond to that into one comment?
Yeah, just quickly, guys. I saw some people were asking for guys' YouTube channel. All the links to all the YouTube channels are in the description. Monkeys, guys, Liberty Politics, and soon Sid's YouTube channel will also be in the description. So find the links always in the description. Go on, Guy.
So in terms of people are saying no, Deborah is saying I'm certain Kushner is incompetent. He's not incompetent. He's the architect of the Abraham Accords. He's very adept at deal making. This is a deal making administration. We have to put that to remember that. The deals are like their go to, but they are so far. The Board of Peace has been receptive to Israel's hesitance about some of these things. And so moved its positions. Okay, Israel is now withdrawing after Hamas finishes disarming. So that's great. So you can give it a chance to disarm as long as we don't have to withdraw in lockstep. And also, Israel has recently resumed attacks on Hamas. This is apparently with a tacit acceptance of the Board of Peace because Hamas has not been fulfilling its end of the deal. And the last point is that Trump can handle criticism from Netanyahu and vice versa, and they can utilize it to help themselves in the elections. Yes, and Netanyahu actually said in a recent long-form interview he did that his relationship with Trump is like a family relationship in the sense that like they're very close. They call each other by their first name, and they can be very blunt with each other, and it's like okay because they're comfortable with each other. So that could be actually a sign of a close relationship. The fact that he can criticize each other this openly.
Or like we always have to consider the other side as well. It could be real tension out between them, and they're trying to cover it. Netanyahu is trying to cover it. That is also an option.
It was also a Hebrew interview, so he has an incentive in saying that.
Yes, guys, if you are considering the most optimistic 5D chess plan, also consider the most pessimistic as well. Let's not just be one-sided with all of this. But let's finish this video before we go to the super chat.
Said that they have a different channel with Hamas and that ultimately they are giving up their guns, talking about the demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. I asked the president about the upcoming Israeli elections in October, and President Trump told Fox News, I think it's most appropriate for me to stay out of Israeli elections, but I may endorse somebody. And so a lot of headlines here. The president talking about the latest in terms of the Strait of Hormuz and the Iranian regime that at this moment appears unwilling to reach a diplomatic solution with the United States. Guys?
Trey, it also looked like we got an answer from the president about what is priority number one for the United States. Is it the nuclear weapon or getting the gas prices down? He responded to that on True Social.
Yeah, the president posted on True Social, and he was very clear that ensuring that Iran never has a nuclear weapon is the number one priority for the United States. I asked the president about the communication with the Iranians, and interestingly, President Trump confirmed to Fox News that there is a back channel with the IRGC. These are the hardline officials inside of Iran, and that the United States and officials in Washington are speaking directly with IRGC officials in Iran. This is another indication that the Trump administration is not just dealing with the political echelon in Tehran, but also some of these hardliners that have launched attacks against U.S. forces and, of course, in the Strait of Hormuz. But the critical headline here.
So this is important because this was reported by Axios, and people are like, oh, we can't trust Axios. But then President Trump came and confirmed it. So the Trump administration established in mid-May a secret back channel to the IRGC directly to Vahidi through Barzani, which is basically the president of the Kurdistan region in Iraq. So this guy was in charge of being the middle guy between not Ghalibaf and the United States, but Vahidi himself and United States. But apparently, again, they say Vahidi rejected that. Apparently the Americans found out that Vahidi was also interested in coming up with an agreement with the Americans. Their intelligence showed that. So they're like, okay, why are we talking to Ghalibaf and Ghalibaf to the IRGC when we could go directly talk to the IRGC? So let's go find a way to contact Vahidi through this guy, the Barzani guy. And apparently they say Vahidi rejected that and said, go through the negotiating team like Ghalibaf. I don't know if we could buy that. That's what actually happened or not, but that's the report. Any thoughts on that?
Armin, is Barzani PKK related, or is he a more neutral, non-Iranian?
I mean, they're all. So he's Iraqi, right? He's supposed to be not. Yeah. I mean, officially, they're supposed to be not in support of anybody that is challenging the border integrity of Iran. Like officially, they should be against that. But when it comes to connections, they're all connected, right? But officially, these are people who want to, because if he was supporting actual separatists against against the Islamic Republic, then that would be a declaration of war against the Islamic Republic, which would invite so much aggression against. I mean, they already get so much aggression by the Islamic Republic bombing different areas in the Kurdistan region, but the Islamic Republic says that we are not doing that to attack these people. We're attacking the separatists that are hiding in the Kurdistan region. But officially, they're supposed to be friends with each other. Like officially, they have. So this is the reason why they chose this. Barzani is known to have good relationship with the Islamic Republic, so not supportive of separatists, and he's supposed to have like somewhat of a good relationship with IRGC and the United States. So that's why they picked him as the middle guy.